the untold story of Earth, from cosmic chaos to living world. In the vast timeline of the universe, our little blue planet has been through more drama than a Hollywood blockbuster. It's been battered by space rocks the size of mountains, frozen solid under sheets of ice, scorched by volcanic infernos, and reshaped again and again by the forces of nature. And yet, here we are. Against all odds, Earth has survived and thrived. But to really understand how our home came to be, we need to travel far back in time, before humans, before dinosaurs, even before oceans existed. This is the story of Earth's deep past, from its fiery birth to the first sparks of life, the birth of a star and a planet. About 4.5 billion years ago, our corner of the universe looked nothing like it does today. Instead of a bright sun and orderly planets, there was only a massive swirling cloud of gas and dust, what astronomers call a solar nebula. Over millions of years, gravity pulled this cloud together, spinning it faster and faster until the pressure in its core ignited nuclear fusion. In that moment, our sun was born, blazing to life in the darkness of space. But the sun wasn't alone. Around it, tiny bits of dust and rock began colliding and sticking together. At first, they were nothing more than cosmic pebbles. But collisions bred clumps, clumps grew into boulders, and eventually some became entire worlds. One of these young worlds was Earth. A fiery and hostile newborn. The first version of Earth was nothing like the lush planet we know today. It was a ball of molten rock, constantly erupting with volcanoes that belched out toxic gases like methane, sulfur, and carbon dioxide. There were no oceans, no blue skies, only a choking atmosphere and a glowing red-hot surface. And just as Earth was settling into its chaotic infancy, disaster struck. The collision that changed everything. Sometime in this violent era, a planet roughly the size of Mars, nicknamed Theia, slammed into Earth. The impact was apocalyptic. Entire chunks of Earth's crust were hurled into space. For a time, Earth itself may have been completely vaporized, but from this destruction came creation. The debris from that colossal collision eventually coalesced into a companion we still see every night, the Moon. That one event stabilized Earth's tilt, gave us tides, and set the stage for the long story of life to unfold. The first oceans, Earth becomes a water world. At first, Earth was far too hot for liquid water. Any moisture instantly boiled into steam. But as millions of years passed, the surface cooled. Rain began to fall, and it didn't stop for centuries. Slowly, that endless rain filled the low basins of the planet, giving rise to the first oceans. For the first time, Earth was not just a fiery wasteland, but a world of water. And where there is water, there is the potential for life. The dawn of life. Roughly 3.7 billion years ago, something extraordinary happened in those oceans. Tiny chemical reactions powered by heat and minerals assembled the very first living organisms. They were microscopic, single-celled, and fragile, but they were alive, and they would change everything. These simple microbes became Earth's pioneers. They adapted to hostile conditions, multiplied, and slowly began shaping the environment itself. The rise of the first continents. For a time, Earth was almost entirely ocean. But deep beneath the waves, lighter rocks floated upward, breaking through the surface as tiny land masses. These ancient fragments, called cratons, grew and fused together over millions of years, forming the first true supercontinents. The earliest we know of is called Vaalbara. By today's standards, it was small, smaller than modern Australia, but it marked a turning point. For the first time, Earth wasn't just a water world. It had land, coastlines, and the beginnings of geography. A breath of fresh air, literally. Around 2.4 billion years ago, one group of tiny organisms changed the course of history. These were the cyanobacteria, microbes that discovered a new trick: photosynthesis. By using sunlight to make food, they began releasing oxygen as waste. At first, that oxygen was poisonous to most other life, but slowly it began to accumulate in the atmosphere. This event, known as the Great Oxidation Event, was one of the most important moments in Earth's history. It transformed the air, cleared the skies, and laid the foundation for all future complex life. But it came at a cost. Snowball Earth. As oxygen levels rose, carbon dioxide, the gas that kept Earth warm, dropped. Without enough greenhouse gases to trap heat, the planet plunged into its first great ice age. Glaciers spread across the continents. The oceans froze over. For millions of years, Earth may have resembled a giant snowball drifting through space. And yet, life endured. Hidden in cracks of ice, deep-sea vents, and sheltered pools, microbes survived, waiting for the world to thaw. The age of supercontinents. Meanwhile, Earth's restless crust never stopped moving. Continents broke apart, drifted, and collided again. One of the most famous of these ancient land masses was Rodinia, a true supercontinent that may have been the largest ever to exist. Imagine a single massive block of land stretching across the planet, surrounded by a global ocean. Life was still small and simple, but conditions were slowly shifting. With more oxygen in the air and more nutrients in the seas, the stage was set for the next great leap in evolution. A world ready for complexity, from cosmic chaos to icy prison. Earth had endured disaster after disaster, yet each catastrophe reshaped the planet into something more hospitable. The birth of the moon stabilized our orbit. The rise of oceans provided a cradle for life. The spread of continents created diverse habitats. The oxygen revolution set the stage for breathing creatures. And now, after billions of years of survival, Earth was finally ready for something new. The rise of complex life. But that, my friends, is another chapter in this incredible story. So, the next time you look up at the moon or stand by the ocean's edge, remember, these are not just familiar sights. They are the echoes of Earth's earliest struggles and triumphs, reminders of a time when our planet was still fighting for its place in the cosmos. And believe it or not, the wildest parts of Earth's history are still to come.